home from work. Funny you bring this up. I was actually thinking about this today. One day I came home from work and everything just felt so small. Does that sound stupid?
Mhm.
Everything
Mm-mm.
just felt not real, so
Mhm.
small. Like I was looking at things and they just looked so weird. And I
Mhm.
remember you brought on someone, Glenn. You remember an Irish chap? You remember a young chap? Is he? Oh, what was his name again?
See so
I'll
many
think of his
people with
name
it.
in a few moments. Yeah, I'll think of his name in a few moments. And he actually said the topic of exactly what happened to me. Um, but to answer your question, yes, I did struggle very much with DPDR. I was absolutely terrified of it. But again, I think exposure to it and not being afraid of it kind of just lets that pass. But again, I think the reason for me with DPDR was stress, anxiety. It was just a build up. And well, they say DPDR is the brain's way of slowing everything down, don't they?
Yeah.
So definitely I struggled with it, but I can assure you, definitely nothing to fear because it's nothing wrong like we think. You know what I mean? We think we're losing our minds and stuff, but no need to fear it. I know it's easier said than done.
Have you had it come on since you've recovered? Like you're having a stressful day or
Uh,
whatever?
I wouldn't say it came on fully, but a couple of weeks ago, I did feel a little bit of it. Where I remember I was walking in home. I had a pretty tough day at work, and I felt a little bit off. Again, that for DPDR for me was like how to say it, like stepping out of yourself. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You're above yourself. You're kind of looking at things in a third person. It don't feel real. But yes, it didn't last long. I wasn't. How do I say it? There was no reaction to it. You know what I mean? I didn't panic with it. I didn't get afraid of it. I knew what it was. I was having a really tough day, um, and yeah, it didn't last long. A couple of minutes, it was gone.
Right.
So again, with DPDR, I think your reaction to it is just important. You know what I mean? It passes a lot quicker when you're not afraid of it,
Yeah.
if that makes
How,
sense.
yeah,
You know,
how did
it's
you become not afraid of it when it's a really scary one?
I think you see, I think what for me anyway, for me, I thought with all this when I started with Glenn was I'm afraid of X, Y, Z, one, two, three. So I've got to do exposure to all these things on
Mhm.
different times, but that's not how it works. When you get better at one thing, you get better at the other thing. You understand me? When you get better at a busy place, you get better at a busy highway. You get better at the elevator, you get better with the DPDR. They all kind of work together, if you understand me. So they're kind of overlapping each other. That's my thought on it.
Can I jump in, guys? Quick
Mm,
second.
crack on.
So William alluded on the case of DPDR that it's a lot of it is caused by a lot of okay, of course it's caused by all the stress that has happened previously that brought us into this state. But a lot of it can shift sometimes and then it can come back more sometimes scarier or more deeply because of the external stresses of life. Okay, and then on a
Yes, correct.
sensitized body. So whoever's here struggling with DPDR, look at your life right now and say, wow, look at the certain things that's stressing me. Of course, I'm going to feel some form of DPDR while I'm on my recovery. Like, how are the relationships? How is your marriage? How are your finances? How are your kids' health? How is your health? How are these external events currently in your life at the moment? Because it's the pressure of the external stress that really prolongs the state of the DPDR. William, I remember when you had your so-called setback around December
Mm,
time, you had no DPDR, and all of a sudden it hit you like a ton of bricks because
yeah, out of nowhere.
pressure. So
Yeah,
I just
I
wanted
always
to
blame
touch on that.
the stress for it.
Yeah, especially big stressful matters. We're not talking about the stress of a missed appointment at the doctors. We're talking about big stressors in life, being sick, eh, being laid off from work, unable to pay our mortgage for a couple of months, going through a divorce, all those big things, having a business and it's crumbling. Some people can have three or four of those things happen at the same time. Like it's a normal way to be in a state of DPDR. And then the fact what makes it worse is that because it's one of the most unusual and one of the most, it's the most misunderstood symptom of an anxiety disorder is the DPDR. And the whole bewilderment of it because it feels so different that you're like it's like an outer body experiences. I remember myself, I used to be looking in the mirror and be like, who even am I? Or looking at my hands and all like it's weird
Yeah,
stuff like that. Or I'll be looking at the TV watching a Manchester United match and be like, I've no emotion to this whatsoever. I don't enjoy like football was one thing I couldn't get my eyes off. It's me pride and joy. And here I am looking at a football game. I'm like, I don't even like this anymore. And that's just scared me. But when you think about it, my primitive brain and my nervous system has been so revved up for such a long period of time, it's burnt out and it's in survival mode. And yet I just wanted to sit on a couch and just peacefully just relax the feet up and go into the emotion of happiness to watch a football game. My mind wasn't allowing it. And then I looked inwardly, like, why can't I find the passion and the love of football? It's because my body was such on high alert all the time. And the next was quite early in my condition, whatever you want to call it, guys. So just the bewilderment of the DPDRs, the stress that you're currently in at the moment has you stuck in it, and then what's making it worse is your fear of it. Want to touch on a bit more, Sandra, and move on to
I,
something else?
Yeah, just one more question. When you were having really bad DPDR, how did you cope, or what were some tips or tricks for doing exposures while feeling like it's even just hard to exist?
I'll tell you one story. The worst bout of it I got. I remember one day I was speaking to my sister, and this is no lie. This was unbelievable. I was actually looking at my sister like I'm looking at your face right now. I knew her voice and everything. Her face looked different. She did not look,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I've had that.
and I was looking at her, and I just couldn't understand what was going on. You understand me? Like this was,
Hmm.
I was neck deep in it all this time. And that absolutely terrified me. In my mind, I was losing it. This is it. I'm gone here. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that was the worst. That was the worst I ever had with it. The second time it happened to me was with my wife. She just didn't look. You understand me? How you remember someone? And this sounds ridiculous,
Hmm.
but I remember it happened another time, and I kind of just done what we were doing with everything else, with the panic, with the anxiety. I did not. I learned about it, psychoeducation, not in a compulsive way. I read all about it. I learned everything I had to about it, why it happens, what causes it, how what prolongs it. Once I had the psychoeducation of what it was, I knew. You understand me? It's not dangerous. So, in in the simplest terms I can put it to you is, what is the tip or what can you do about it? Nothing. You don't have to do anything. You just have to let it pass because it does pass. You know what I mean? It's just like a panic attack. I'll be honest. I would say the DPDR was just as frightening as the panic attack, but not anymore. You know what I mean?
So
Not
yours
anymore.
wasn't like constant, like for days or weeks on end. It was
No,
just kind of like here and there.
here and there. It come for a couple of minutes, maybe 10 minutes or so, pass. But no. Why is yours constant?
Yeah.
I know you probably think there's probably an underlying mental health condition causing this. Is that what you think?
I
because
used to, because I used to have this all the time, like constant every day for like 7 years. And then after reading the Week's book and doing some work on my own before I even got with Glenn, I was able to get it to go away, except in high stress situations. But I had a setback and it's been just about constant for a while now. And it's fucking with my head again.
do you know how you can bring on DPD in, like intentionally?
Yeah.
I used to try to do that, and literally no, seriously, when I actually tried to bring on DPD intentionally, it stopped coming. Why? Because you're not afraid of it anymore. It doesn't. How do I say it? When your nervous system clocks on to something like the amygdala, as the professionals call it, it's it's a very, how do I say it? It's a very clever mechanism that we don't understand. It will literally red flag that DPDR, bang, it will let everything out. This is dangerous. This is so on. This is so on. That's how it works. The only way to stop it is to show is to show yourself you're not afraid of it anymore. Because if you're not afraid of it, you don't have to do anything to stop it. I know it just sounds too simple because I think anybody with an anxiety disorder or anything, they want instructions, they want plans. Like, right, I'll do this, I'll do that. You have to come to terms with it's not dangerous. It's not ever gonna like cause a problem for you. I know it's terrifying. I'm not trying to, underestimate that. But at some stage, you have to say, look, this has happened so many times. It's just not dangerous. It's nothing. I know it's not comfortable. Once you stop being afraid of it, and once the stress, the sensitization comes down, it will stop.
Mhm.
It will genuinely stop. What I mean? They do say it's a safety mechanism. It's the brain's way of shutting things down, and I do believe that.
Thank you.
I'll
It's
jump
kind
in
of
again, guys, okay?
I think it was Sally.
Go on, William. Sorry, I thought you were finished.
I think it was Sally Winston said. I'm not sure. Kind of lost what I was going to say now. About the DPDR. She said it. Yeah, it's the brain's way of running the body on autopilot to let things settle down.
Yeah, it's like a very mild to moderate escape from reality in a way, a very healthy
Yeah, yeah,
escape from reality. Okay, and
yeah.
I want to touch on the, it's a symptom of anxiety at the end of the day, and just like the beating heart for people, like people that are terrified of heart attacks, like you being terrified of DPDR is your main anxiety symptom that you're afraid of. Let's go back to myself where it was the heart, and is Vicky on tonight? Vicky really struggles with this as well, cardiophobia. It's what are you doing with that fear? What I was doing was just complete avoidance of it. Yeah, I feel it, but I'm so afraid to go forward into that fear because I've tried a lot of times and it's put me back into a more intense fear of the heart attack coming on because I'm bringing my heart rate on. I'm going out for that. It's so terrifying and it's so draining. Then I go home and it's crushing me. It's making me more scared and it makes me not want to go out again. And that's pretty much with the DPDR that you have, Sandra. It's like you go out, and I told you this week, I cannot ask any more of you. You're doing just fantastic. I told you not to judge yourself off how you're feeling with your anxiety. It's what you're doing, and you've been doing wonderful. Okay, with your behaviors, and you're really pushing, you're really trying, and it's great. But with DPDR, it's a symptom of anxiety, and if we want to really truly overcome it, we still have to progress forward towards normal living to the best of our ability with what we
Yes.
have right now,
Mm.
while with the DPDR and also having the education and trying our best with what we have at the moment to realize this isn't dangerous. That just can't click off. You can't really turn this off by just William will agree with this as well with touching on recovery. Is like it's not as if myself that recovered and William where he got this like with these thoughts. We didn't just sit in a house and say, "Oh, this isn't dangerous," or else go towards little bits of panic and realize, yeah, it's not dangerous. And full force. And when you go in further than you've ever been, with the DPDR or me with the heart, and you survive that, yeah, you come home and you might feel awful the next day. But when you continuously go on that, what I would do is I'd go on this big exposure, and I'd hold off. I'd hold off on that for such a long time. So that feeling of the heart doing some damage to me, or making me feel like I'm not able to cope to go do that again the next day. That alludes back to, well, I can't cope with life. I can't cope with this going on. So it's up to us to show our brain, as horrible and as hard and as distressing as it might be in the moment, I can actually cope with this DPDR. I can still go up to that X marks the spot where basically, hey, this is furthest I can go at the moment to overcome my agoraphobia. This is my zone. I can make it there, have the DPDR, and come home. No matter how intense that is, making it and making it and making it again actually alleviates the the fear of this of the whatever symptom it may be, because you're actually giving yourself the full based evidence that you're not losing your mind, that you're not losing control, but also with the DPDR and certain other symptoms is we have to watch for external stressors with this one also. That's the tricky one of just the DPDR. And I would say you pretty much most anxiety symptoms when there's outside stressors, when we're trying to overcome this, it's a bit of a, it sucks. But it's the behaviors. How are we behaving with this intense fear, William?
I was gonna say, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
I was finished, man. No problem.
Stress, I'm sure Glenn probably told you, stress for me over the course of about 2.5 years, just never stopped. It like major stressors, family, I mean, my son got very sick. Stress plays a major role in an anxiety disorder. I don't think stress causes an anxiety disorder. And again, I'm only going off what I learned from Marty Safe and Sally Winston, but your reaction to stress is just as important as your reaction to anxiety. Would you agree with that, Glenn?
Yeah, it's very similar. And you say that like stress, it doesn't cause it. Yeah, it's the event. It's the event that causes
It, it can
the
make it feel
anxiety
worse.
disorder.
I 100% agree. It can make it feel worse. But again, I learned this off the people you put me onto. It can keep, you understand me? It can make your nerves sensitized. But again, your reaction to that stress is really important. When I got really stressed during whatever I had going on, my first port of call was to get rid of the stress, just like it was with the anxiety. I had to banish it. No anxiety and no stress. And when they're all gone, life will be good again. No, life is good again when you get out and start living life with stress and anxiety. So the brain is learning, well, these are not dangerous. They're just something that's going to happen to everybody in the whole world. And slowly and slowly and slowly, the panic switch, as you said one time, Glenn, just turns. And like today, I was really stressed today, really stressed. And I could feel it here. You can feel it in your chest. You get tight. You all know the feeling. There's no fear. There's no fear. I'm just stressed because things are going wrong. I got them sorted earlier, like a little bit earlier on. Now I'm just sitting in the car here talking to you, and I feel okay. I feel good. You understand me? So I agree with what Glenn is saying. It's you have to look at outside things that can cause you to the DPDR to basically come on. You know what I mean? But again, this is just my take on it. I kind of clear weeks this one. I just floated through DPDR. It comes, it happens, it's gone. If it stays for 10 minutes, it stays for 10 minutes. If it stays all day, it stays all day. Doesn't feel nice. It is never dangerous. It's not the DPDR is the problem, guys. It's your fear of the DPDR. You get me? We're working with fear on this one. That's my take. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's spot on. It's
It's
spot on.
it's
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 it
so
sounds
hard
so
to
easy.
explain, isn't it? Yeah, it's just
You know,
it sounds too
all
easy.
this sounds so easy, but like, you know what it takes to get your life back with them.
Oh, Claire
Like,
Week said it, Glenn. Claire Week said it. Simple. I said simple. Her exact words were, "I said simple, but I didn't say easy."
yeah, it's the hardest thing you'll ever have to do,
Yeah,
really.
no, it's a tough one, and that lady's name, just forgot it. What's her name?
Yeah, it's Sandra.
Sandra. I know how you feel. It's a terrifying thing when it happens, but at some stage, when you've had it so long, you've got to say, "Look, I'm still operating. I'm going to work. I'm doing this. I'm doing that, and it's never harmed me." And you know what I mean. You've got to play with it and say, "Look, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z today, while I feel DPDR and while I feel anxious or while I feel panicked." And I can assure you that the more you go and live life with all these disorders, let it be OCD, GAD, DPDR, the more you go and live life, and the quicker these are going to fall away. It's exposure is the willing ingredient to all of this. That's exact words Marty Siege said.
Yeah,
And I can tell you
you love
guys,
him, Marty, aren't
these
you? Isn't he great?
these people, listen, I have read every book. There's not a book I would say out there I haven't read, page to page. I would read a 500-page book back to front, as quick as I could possibly get it through me. I remember Glenn recommended some books to me. I already had Claire Weeks' book, and let's be fair, she's the lady in this. The Panic Switch I enjoyed. I did enjoy the Panic Switch. But for me, these two people, I remember Glenn, he was on about this book and on about this book. I said, look, I'm going to have to give this book a read. And in my honest opinion, these people, there is no better. There's no better.
There isn't.
And exactly what these people, what I was learning with Glenn is exactly what these people were teaching top therapists all over the whole world.
Yeah.
There's no there's no quick fix. The problem, what I found before I ever got in contact with Glenn was control strategies. What's this crap? Vegas nerve resets. You understand me? It's
Does
it's
me head in.
it's yeah. I'll be honest with you. It absolutely aggravates me. I listen to that shit. There's no easy way out of this, lads. But again, I remember you probably remember saying this to me, Glenn. It's all going to work off how quick you can do this. You understand me? Some people go slower, some people go faster. Let it take as long as it wants. You understand me? That's
100%.
that's that's what I'll say to you. If it takes a week, fair play to you. If it takes a year, what does it matter? It took you. You
Guys,
understand me? It takes as long as it takes.
I've worked with so many people, guys, and I'll tell you one thing. No one has ever recovered quickly. There was a Romanian guy that came on board with me, and he recovered in 2 months, but he only had the disorder for like 3 or 4 months. He didn't have time to go into all of this shit,
Wasn't
and
long
that's why
enough.
he got out really quickly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He just had
wasn't
to,
long enough.
he had a panic attack on a certain road, and he was terrified to go back onto it. He got in touch with me, and then yeah, we attacked that road slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly, and he's just fully recovered. Mm, Not a bother. I'm fully recovered. 2 months. That was that, and I don't even think no one has ever recovered in 2 months. No, 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 no. You're looking at like some most of because I work with such people that have it for a longevity of time. Um, you're looking at around a 3 month period that someone says, "I'm really starting to feel a bit better now." That's just feeling a bit better, you know. And then from there, it's like, oh, so now you know you can feel better for the first time in many years. We'll
Yeah,
take that and let's keep moving forward.
I
Ross
think
has the
I think.
best experience. Sorry,
Oh,
William?
sorry, Glenn. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
No, I'll go to Ross in a couple of seconds. What is it?
I think Claire Weeks called it glimpses.
Yeah,
Yeah, where
glimpses of
you
recovery.
could
Yeah.
see things easing up. Exactly as you said. I think it was 3 to 4 months in. Now, again, lads, no, don't put a timeline on it. Of multiple exposures every single day, like going in and staying in the panic and letting the panic come down to a certain level before I left exposures. And I could feel that. Like 3 or 4 months in, like even people start commenting on it. I was going places. I just felt I could feel it coming, exactly as you said, the switch. You could feel it turning down slowly, slowly, slowly. But
Yeah.
it's a slow process, isn't it? You know what I mean? If it wasn't, there'd be no need for therapists or men like yourself showing people how to do this, would there? Everyone would do it themselves.
It's nurturing people through a very hard condition that they need to feel heard and pushed correctly and supported, and they need a lot. It's very, very hard, and I'm just so empathetic
No,
and caring towards people that go through this because that was my life. That was my life for 10 years, guys, and everyone will get there, but it's when you're at your lowest, you can't see recovery. Can't. Anyone else have a question for William? How long did it take? What about this? What about that? How's life for you now? Anyone got any questions for William?
Um, I wanted to ask about, so for me, I'm like sort of in a position where I can drive, an hour, hour and a half or whatever, but it's taken me a few years to get there, but I get to a point with that and I feel I'm scared to push any further than that and have a panic attack, like let's say like 2, 3 hours away from home. That really scares me because like you just sort of feel like there's no way out of that. And that's what I struggle with at the minute. So like what is I know I know what the answer is, but it's more like how do you allow yourself to feel that? How do you allow that?
William? I think William's off, but
Oh,
yeah, and he's gonna come back on. But
yeah, no worries.
listen, you have to weigh up what's at stake here.
Yeah.
What's at stake? It's your life. It's your life. Your life's at stake. That's what will push you past that. And when you're consistently taking action towards that,
man,
and you
sorry
keep
about
hitting
that.
off that brick wall, you're okay, William. Maybe Ian, you can ask the question again.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying, so I'm kind of at the point where I can go far distances away from home. You know, I'm driving like an hour, hour and a half and stuff like that. But when it comes to pushing further than that, I sort of struggle to let myself feel it because I really feel, a voice is so convincing, but it just really makes you feel like there's no way out of it if you wanted to leave, in that situation. So just
Yep.
wondering like how you let yourself feel that, especially like a really far distance away from home, like where escape
Good
isn't
question.
possible.
Good question. So here's what I'll say. You're not fully allowing the panic attack if you're thinking about escape. I please don't think I'm trying to run you down or anything. It was my life for 15 years. When you can say to yourself, I'm gonna go 5 hours tomorrow and I'm gonna fully expect a panic attack and I'm gonna allow it. I'm not gonna do anything to stop it. That's when you've got it. So if you're not at that stage, and if you're not, there's nothing wrong with that because I wasn't at that stage for quite a while. Like I done exposures with Glenn for about 7, 8, 9 months. What did I not do? Exactly what I needed to do. Flying to different countries. You understand me? I done the exact same thing. It's how do I say it? I'm okay as long as I'm not too far from home. In your case, an hour. Well, in my case, it was probably 3, 4 hours. So how I got over that next stage was I had to make the big move, the big leap, and that's exactly what Sally Winston calls it, a leap of faith. You have to go into level 10, and you just gotta let it happen. So your question is, what I can gather is, how do I get to the next stage?
Yeah,
You get
pretty
to the next
much.
stage
Just
exactly how you got. Yeah, exactly how you got to this
yeah.
stage. You've
Thing
got
is, I
to
know the answer
you've got to
already.
move.
It's just
Yeah, and I
allowing
and
it.
I knew the answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew the answer, and I know that's not probably not what you wanted to hear. But for instance, if you're at an hour now and you got to that, well, you're going to have to do double of what you've done to get to the hour. You're going to have to take bigger steps. So if you're going an hour, you're going to need to drive 2 hours.
Yeah.
And before you know where you are, that 2 hours is nothing. And then you can do 5 hours, and then you can do a couple of nights. And then before you know where you are, you're traveling, you're flying, you understand me? It's the thought. It's the thought. I'm okay as long as I'm an hour. You've got comfortable. I think the word they use is habituated to an hour.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like I'm very comfortable with that hour, Like it was a hard
Yeah,
battle to get
you're,
there, don't get me wrong. Like I was housebound, like other people here. But
yeah. And
yeah, I
listen,
definitely got used to
fair
that.
play to you.
Yeah.
Fair play to you for getting to where you are, because I know it's not an easy job. But I'll tell you a story. I used to go on a train here, just about a mile from where I live, and I used to go like I'd say maybe 10 minutes, and exactly like you, I got comfortable at the 10. And then what happened was I was doing these exposures, and well, they weren't exposures because there was no anxiety, there was no panic attacks, because I got habituated to the route I was coming. So I remember I had a chat with Glenn one day, and he said, "All right, swap it around, go to a different place, and go one further." So it hit me like a ton of bricks. Then it was game over. How did I get past it? I went, instead of going 5, I went 20. Instead of going 20, I went 30. You understand me? So you've got to let it rise at a level that you can manage, because if you don't, you're kind of staying in the one circle, aren't you? You know what I mean? But my advice to you, but
So
if
gradual.
you can hop in your car and do an hour and 40 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes, and just break that level where you're at, and just keep moving and moving and moving. I think they call it a hierarchy. So
Yeah.
you gotta move in how do they say it? You've got to move in a step that's manageable but not too easy, because if they're too easy, you're not learning nothing about it. But
Yeah.
I know it's not easy. If you can hop in your car and say, "Look, I'm gonna have 2 hours here, and that's it. No matter what happens, is going to happen." We all know nothing's going to happen. The worst you're going to have is a panic attack. If you can do
Yeah.
nothing about that panic attack and have 2 hours, trust me, you're going to hit a big milestone.
Huge.
Again, buddy,
It's a big
fair
realization.
play to you. Fair play to you for what you've done. I know it's not easy. Trust me, we've all been there. You know, and but really, I know it's not nice what I'm going to say. You got a bigger move to make next time.
No, I
And before
agree.
you know
I
where you
definitely
are,
agree with
once
you.
you bang
Yeah.
that 2 hours out, once you bang out that 2 hours, you'll do 3 hours, no problem.
Yeah.
Be very surprised of how stuck someone can feel at 1 hour for months, and then they make the leap of faith, and then how quickly they can push on from 2 hours to 3 hours is like lightning. And you look back and say, "Oh my God, how the fuck did I stay at 1 hour for 8 months?" But
Yeah.
Yeah.
William, before when you just jumped off there, and just went into answering the question for Yay, and you said, "How do you get from that to that?" I kind of answered it in a different. Yours is spot on. But I answered it from probably a more. I guess I went a little bit too deep, maybe. I said like I went into like, look. This is about life. Like your life is on freedom awaits you at that 2 hour mark, at that 1 hour and 40 minute mark.
Yeah.
You're missing out on life because of the fear of what might be on the opposite side, but realizing this freedom is on the opposite side. So what pushes someone to get over that mark is the realization of, hold on a minute, this is my life. Was I really putting this earth to I'm the guy that gets 1 hour from home? And I said that to myself one day walking down the road, and like, God's beautiful world, whoever created it, created
Mm.
me. Am I the fucking traffic light guy? I said that to myself today, and I said, the fuck am I the traffic light guy? Are you the hour guy? Yeah, and the fucking hour guy, be bollocks. And you have to weigh that
Mm.
up. You have to weigh that up like with life.
The pain of
How do
sitting
you put
still is worse than the panic attack.
yeah, it is. because you're gonna have to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Everyone here has to do eventually.
But here's what I'll say, and this was a big one for me. And exactly like Glenn said, after X amount of months, you're kind of stuck at one milestone, and you kind of look around for a while, and you don't seem to be moving past this, and you say like, well, like what's going on here? But you know exactly what's going on. Well, I did anyway. You're engineering this exposure in a way to be easy. You're engineering it in a way that where it's not where you're not fully allowing it. So, for instance, going at certain times, going when you know it's going to be easy, or going on a exposure and then bailing when you feel it rising. You're getting no results from this. If you can go and do these things, and like for instance me, I'm going to X today. Well, I didn't care what happened. I went to X, and once I got to where I wanted to go, where I said I was going to go, you could feel it rising. But I would not leave that place or wherever it was until I felt the anxiety come down. So then I habituated to that area. Okay, once that happened, then I went home. Next day, further. Next day, further. Harder. You know what I mean? Busier places. You you,
You know
you
what,
have to
William?
make them hard.
I, I'm always,
And
I'm
I hate
late
to say that.
with people here, William. You know, I'm gonna do something here, and you touched on something so interesting as that, like, you're actually giving it to the group here right on the chin. I think that's what they need. I'm always like
Well,
in time, and time. I'm very
yeah,
happy I did that.
yeah.
You know,
And I listen. I listen. I don't feel comfortable saying this because it wasn't so long ago I was in these people's positions. But I'll say this: I remember one week we were all on the group. Myself, Yasmin, Rosa, I think it was Michelle. There was quite a few of us. We actually became friends. We still talk on Instagram, quite a few of us. But the group went dead. You know what I mean? It went dead. There was no activity. Nobody was posting what they were doing. Nobody was putting exposure videos up. And yourself, you remember you got on like, what the fuck is
yeah, I
going
was
on
pissed
here?
off.
Like what is happening? And yeah, and like it was exactly what everybody needed. You understand me? As we say in Ireland, we got a nice bit of stick. And the next day, bang, 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 WhatsApp after WhatsApp. Everyone was gone everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I don't know for years, lads. You know, I mean, kindness and sweet talk is never going to do the trick here. I think you have to be willing to say, look, I'm going to put myself through quite a hard thing to do here, and I'm going to do it every day because, as Glenn said to me one day, if you're not willing to do it 100%, you're wasting your time, money, and your effort. You understand me? And as I said, I don't like
Exactly.
talking to people like this, but it's exactly it's exactly the way you need to be talking.
I agree with
That's
you
it,
100%,
lads.
man.
I
100%.
remember,
Guys,
you
one
know what I mean.
second,
I
right?
remember I was doing.
Sandra touched on a question,
Go
but I
ahead.
just want to jump into this. My apologies. Let's read out what Sandra just said, right? What do you guys think I tell Sandra to, not just Sandra, I'd say it to most people. I even said it to you at the start, William. Why do I tell her to go to a certain area and just drive back home? Why do I do that? Like, we're talking about going
Just
into
one second,
panic.
Glenn. I'm just reading. What?
If recovery lies in panic and we must sit there and be with it, why am I telling Sandra to go into the place and come straight back home? Don't sit with it. Why am I telling her that?
Go for it.
We spoke about milestones. If I was to tell Sandra, all right, Sandra, the Japanese gardens, I want you to go there tomorrow, and I want you to stay there until the panic attack comes down. If I tell you to do that tomorrow, Sandra, me, that's observing you. I know you won't do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I did. Yeah, I didn't mean it like until it's completely gone. Like what I mean is when you feel like level 10, well then if you bail on that straight away, well then you've learned, well okay, your brain learns I'm going to run from this every time. That's what I meant. So for me, just I don't mean to
Yeah, you know,
I'm
when
losing
I
you here,
tell
to be
people
honest.
like, and I did this with yourself, William, like, let's make it to a certain place and come home. Let's make it to a certain place and come home. Because what it is you're integrating people back into normalcy, back into normal life. Because right now they're not, because this disorder can be so insidious.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. That was like I'm not talking about first exposure at that. No, 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 no. That was kind of a
Exactly.
good bit into it. Like I was talking to this other chap here. Yeah, I don't mean that for anybody who's just starting out here. Like for me, once I got into it and into it to move on to the next level, I could go a place, feel the panic attack, let it come down. So if it's at a level 10, I could get it down to a 5.
If I
Yeah, but
knew,
I
Sandra,
didn't mean that like not on the first like if you're new to this, it's not humanly possible. I don't care like who tells you to do it. You wouldn't be able to do that. That was in that was this was directed to this other chap. Is it Mark?
No, can I jump in there for a second? Well, group, how are you? So I have a funny sort of situation, but on Sandra, at the start, I was the same with Glenn, and I was damn fucking glad to get to these point A's and B's because I couldn't leave the house. So Glenn done the same with me. He says, "Let's get into the panic and go home." Only now that I got a little bit braver through the guidance with Glenn, now I can sit in it. If that was
Yeah,
before, if that was before, you couldn't sit in it because you'd be that heightened. You'd be that heightened. I think it'd nearly make it worse. So by just basically, it's the same. You're just dipping your toes in and you're coming out. Dipping your toes in and coming out. Like if we read a book on how to swim and we study on reading a book of how to swim for a full year, and we never swam before. And we walk to a fucking pool and we jump in after reading it for a full year. Do you think we're going to be able to swim? Not a fucking chance of it. It's just down to practice, practice, practice. But no, Sandra, at the start of any, like, it's all about getting your toes wet, dipping it in, feeling. And then when you get a little bit more brave or a little bit more successful, they're the times where you can slowly try to sit in them. But you're sitting them when you're only, in my experience, you're getting comfortable in some parts. You know what I mean? So
correct, correct. But that actual sentence I said was sorry. I called that other chap Mark. Is it Lewin?
yeah, Ian,
Yeah,
That was meant for you, Lewin. That
Lewin.
was meant for you because you told me like you're an hour into this stuff. Sandra, I
Exactly. Yeah.
imagine you must be pretty new to this stuff. Exactly as Mark said, you couldn't do it even if you wanted it. You know what I mean? When I first started, I was hop on, hop off, home as quick as I could. But obviously, as you progress, your job is not to get home as quick as you can anymore. Your job is to get through, you know what I mean? Let a panic attack come.
Yeah,
And again, we call them panic attacks. You let your adrenaline rush come because there's nothing attacking you.
she was at that point, William. She was at that
Sorry,
point
lad.
that a couple of months ago. We started off exactly the way I like to integrate people into. Let's try just get your life
Yeah,
back
yeah,
a small bit. Where
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so hard to go to that place. And if I was to actually get on as a coach or whatever you want to call me and say, go to that place, stay in the panic, and don't come home until it's down, that's too much pressure on people. You've
No,
no
it's not
idea.
happening.
Well, you
It's not
obviously
happening.
you have an idea. Sandra already got to that place where she was at this place called the Japanese Gardens, where she's trying to now get to. She's terrified. She's so scared of it now. But six
Because
months
she
ago,
already got she got to the Japanese gardens, but she kind
mm,
of
mm, oh, she'd walk her dog around it and not even be panicking in it. Then she had a little bit of a
and not now.
setback, and she hasn't been able to get back.
Okay, so
That's why she's
Sandra,
confused.
a setback. So uh, setbacks terrified me. That's terrified me, and I was more afraid of the setback, the thoughts of a setback, than the actual setback. And what happened was, then I had the setback. So a setback is you've just temporarily, for God knows why, stress, family issues, life issues, you've gone back to old behaviors. So safety behaviors, compulsions. You know what I mean? It's trying to stop the panic. bringing your bottles of water and your mints on. You're avoiding again. You've got to get back to that routine. You've got to, you know what I mean, make your plan, sit down and say, okay,
Absolutely.
Japanese Gardens is 25 minutes away. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna do, if your limit is 10 minutes, I'm gonna do 15 minutes. Or do your 10 minutes, but you're gonna have to put it in a way where you're getting closer every day, because if you don't, here's what I'll say, lads. I'll say this to you. Years can pass, and I'm talking years, by just sitting still because I done it. You understand me? You have to sit down and say, I'm not going to waste any more time. This is what I'm going to do. This is not going to be easy. This is not, you understand me? This is going to be a very tough thing, but this is not a dangerous thing. You understand me? You are not afraid of the train, the plane, the bus, whatever it is. You are afraid of what you think and how you feel. That is it. There's no more to it. Again, I always reference Sally Winston. Stop looking on the outside. The outside is not the problem. The inside is the problem. The thoughts and the feelings. That's it. People often say, "Oh, I'm afraid of an elevator." You are not afraid of an elevator. You are afraid of how you feel in an elevator, because you're afraid you can't escape that elevator if you have a panic attack. So, Sandra, I'm sorry I mixed you up there, but I got a little bit off track. My question was directed for Lewin, that said he was quite a bit on.
Yeah, now Yayan would be at a place where, now you have to,
Am I
you're not the
pronouncing that
1 hour guy.
wrong?
Huh? I used to
Let's
fucking have a
listen.
go at me for pronouncing his name wrong.
I'm not a name pronouncer. I'm not a name pronouncer. Glenn will tell you that.
Irish and Welsh names are very difficult.
Yeah. Uh,
Padraig,
I'm not a name pronouncer.
Saoirse, Yayan. But
But yeah,
you
that's
have to get
that's
to
that's
a
that's the top of the head of it.
stage. You get to a stage where you're able to be confident enough to know that I can handle a panic here and I can sit in this Japanese garden again. Because
Yeah.
obviously lately, Sandra, you're at a point in your recovery where you're not capable of getting to these places and staying there for long periods of time. And that's totally perfect. That's okay. And you can push that along. Again, you're the one that makes the decisions. You can choose tomorrow to wake up and say, you
Mm.
know what, fuck this. I'm going to the Japanese garden. I'm just going to stay here. You can choose that. But what I see every day is you go into the Japanese gardens, the anxiety being so heightened. And so I know straight away when people's anxiety is so heightened that like no point me telling them to go to the Japanese gardens today. Let's just get her this beautiful win and we keep moving. Get her another beautiful win, we keep moving. And as time goes on, then you'll be at a point where you're ready to go back into the Japanese gardens again. But as I said, you can literally
Small
wake
wins.
up or go right now in your car and say, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to the Japanese gardens. I'm going to go alone. I'm going to just walk around that place. You can do that now. But again, I can't do that for you. I can't do that for you. Until you show me the signs that you're back in Japanese gardens, then I'll say, great, let's stay here a bit longer. Until then, we build ourselves back up slowly, build back up slowly, and that's the difference between someone that's progressively going towards a higher level of recovery. As I said, it's
Yeah.
stepping up steps on a ladder. Okay, and you already
Yeah.
did it before, Sam. It's not as if you can't do it again. You've been at that place.
Sandra, I done it. I done it 3 times. I know how you feel. I done it 3 times. You know, what I mean, I fell back 3 times throughout the course of my life. So I know exactly how you feel. And it can be done. Can be done.
Absolutely. What advice do you think would you give her, William, in regards to getting back to a place that she's already been, but she's terrified again to go back? What would you give her? And we've been trying to go back a while now. I couldn't ask more from the woman. Like I couldn't. She's full on DPDR. She's really fucking struggling some days,
I
but
know.
she's
I
still
know.
out like a
I
warrior.
know.
What advice would you give her?
Look, here's what I'll say. When 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 I was struggling in a very similar situation as it sounds to Sandra, I had a look around at what I was doing. Like, what am I doing And I just wasn't going into the harder stuff. I was trying to make it easy. And please don't think I'm trying to run you down there. You know what I mean? I'd never do that. It's exactly what I was doing. I would go and I would say, okay, no, I feel it rising now. I'm getting anxious now. I'm out of here. I'm going home. I was there for 2 seconds. You get no benefit from it because it just, the brain just registers. We came here, we panicked, we ran our best. Brain is doing its job. You know what I mean? It's only doing what it's supposed to do. Lads, you've got to, and trust me, I know how easy this is. You've got to move further every single day, closer, closer, closer. And before you know where you are, you're saying to yourself, "Fuck, look how far I am now." You know what I mean? Like last week, I could go 5 minutes. This week, I'm gone 20 minutes, or I'm gone 15, or I'm gone X amount. Move, go if you can go straight at this, lads. You know, head on.
Yeah,
One
you
by
have
one,
to real.
exactly as Glenn said before. It's hard to drop the safety behaviors. Take the safety behaviors with you. Once you get further on down the line, you can drop them slowly. Sandra, I know this is not easy. Trust me, I've been in your shoes. Get up tomorrow. How far is this Japanese gardens from where she lives?
She's done it loads of times. She's well capable. I know she is. I know she's stronger than she thinks. I know it. Yeah.
So that's what I can say to you.
6 minute
But
drive.
here's what I'm going to say to you as all, lads. 6 minute drive. Do not try to do these things and hope to not panic, because you are only putting yourself in for you know what I mean, a bad mood and a pissed off. Expect to panic. Trust me, when you expect to panic and you're fully willing to allow this to happen, but don't make the mistake I'm trying to do this without being really, you know what I mean, anxious. You've got to do it anxious. You know what I mean? This is where the learning is. Into it every day, every single day. Make your plan. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, and do it every single day. And Glenn will tell you, like when I made that plan and I said to him, "This is what I'm going to do. What do you think?" We went over for an hour on the phone. I'm sure he probably told you. Within like 6, 7 weeks, I was the other side of the country. Like I'm talking hours, 6, 7, 8 hour drives.
I couldn't believe it myself.
Head on,
I've
lads.
seen
And
it
I
so
know it's
many
not
times.
easy.
So
But here's what I'll say.
it's
There's no one on this group. None of your, all you guys think you're worse than me. No, no, sorry. Nobody's no worse than other. Anxiety is anxiety all over the whole world. It's the same feeling. Panic is the same feeling. You know what I mean? So six
that's the
minutes,
beauty of it. It's the beauty of
Sandra.
the group.
Why don't you try 3 minutes tomorrow? Try 3 minutes tomorrow. You know it's going to be hard. The next day, do 4 minutes. Do the extra. Go further every single day. Oh, you know where you are. You're going to be there again. When you get to your garden, sit down and just relax to the best of your ability. You don't have to make yourself relax. You know what I mean?
You understand the frustration. 6 minutes from home. She used to do it
Oh,
with
I know,
ease.
I know,
She used to do it with
I
ease,
know.
and now
Trust
it's
me.
such a
Like
big ordeal for her. You know, so we have to
my my
sympathize with
my
that.
my goal when I started was 20 minutes on a train, and after like 4 or 5 months, I still wasn't at that 20 minutes, and I was like, "What's going on here? This is not working." One day, exactly like that chap, I can't pronounce your name correctly.
Yeah, yeah,
What's
and
going
he's
on
gone
here?
now.
And we had a chat. Yeah, we had a chat. Why wasn't I at where I wanted to be? Because I didn't go to where I wanted to be. I was trying to make it easier, slowly, slowly, slowly. When I started moving up and up and up every single day, before I knew where I was where I needed to be. So my advice to you, Sandra, um, if you can do half of it tomorrow, get closer every day.
Can I say something?
Go for it.
Well, what's the crack, William? Yeah, so I'm a mad Irishman myself, and I was out the gap at 100 mile an hour as well. I love the fucking recovery. I love it. I was stuck on like 20-minute radius, and I got to the
Mm,
beach this year, first time in 10 years. Like I
fair
even
play
got
to
in
you.
and licked the water basically because I forgot what salty water tasted.
Great feeling.
I seen a
Great
boat,
feeling. Yeah, great feeling.
seen a boat, and I started crying there. Do you know what I mean? Now, and
Oh,
seeing
listen, we all know the.
seen the train station and everything. I just, I'm 36. I have it fucking over 10 years. And it riddled me. Now, I do have a lot of stresses. I have a landscaping company
Same as me.
and I have 7 men. You have a landscaping company as well?
7 men. I have a landscaping company. I have similar situation to your own. Go ahead.
Yeah,
No
so
wonder
they're
you
all
have
bawling.
anxiety disorders. Well had.
Yeah, they're all bawling and shouting and paving and, clients and
Yeah.
all the same crack. Sorry. And this year was the first time I come off the tools a bit. Now we do a lot of garden design myself, and I do a lot of pricing and stuff. So
Yeah.
like this morning, I was up at half five in the morning, gone to the gym, back out, and I went driving. Now I was getting to the beach. I got to the beach 2 or 3 times. Now I'm not saying like every day I'm doing recovery, every single day I'm getting out, but the external stresses absolutely floored me. Do you know what I mean? I was twice as tired.
Yeah.
Still going out doing recovery every day. I could be gone at half 6. You wouldn't know what fucking way I'd go. I wasn't letting any way go,
Yeah.
but I just want to be able to get to the beach. I have 3 kids under 7 as well, and I want to be able to get to the beach with the
Of
kids.
course.
The last 2 weeks I found it difficult, and I wasn't being negative. I wasn't being anything, but it was just I don't even call it a setback. Now the beach was another 10 minutes past where I was going, so like I was going flat every day. So it's just, yeah, it's external stresses. And now I think that part of my life, 2 weeks into now, is after started rejigging itself. Everything's going good again. And yesterday I got to an estate in Drogheda, and today I got past it and I felt good again. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just I don't call it a setback because I'm still doing it every day. It's just it slowed me
Yeah.
down a little bit. Yeah. So that happened to you as well, did it?
Oh God, yeah. So look, here's what I'll say. I had a very similar situation to yours. Sounds very similar. I'm 33. I had it for 16 years. You understand me? On and off. So you're moving exactly where you need to be. Bit of stress comes along, job gets tough. Your body and your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. You're feeling stress. You're feeling a bit more anxious. That's not the problem. It's how you're interpreting that is the problem. So, for instance, myself, oh, I'm stressed now. That means I'm going to feel anxious. That means I'm going to have a panic attack. That means I won't sleep tonight, and that means I won't be able to operate 100% tomorrow. That means I won't be able to do what I need to do as good, or I won't be able to go as far as I need to go. Would that sound like what happened to you?
Yeah, a bit, but
It's
I don't really think about it.
it's a never-ending cycle,
I don't. I just go.
buddy. You need to get back to that beach. If you went to it and you've been there already, you need to bang back to it and feel the
Oh, he's
anxiety,
going to get there.
feel the panic. Don't do one thing about it. Drop your hands, drop your shoulders, let it come. I know it's not easy, but if you can do 20 minutes, mate, you can do an hour. Trust me, there's no difference. You will feel the
Mm,
exact same at the 20-minute mark as you will the hour mark. And then before you know where you are, you'll be in friggin' Dublin before you know it.
yeah.
But
Oh,
it's always the same question because I had the same question. How do I move up the exact same way you got to the beach? It sounds rude what I'm saying. It's no different. Step, 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 hierarchy. Okay, I'm at 20 minutes. Next week, my goal is 30 minutes. Next month, my goal is an hour. You've got to keep progressing as pushing further, pushing further. Some people get to a certain circle, and I done this many years ago, to a certain circle where I can do everything I need to do and I don't need to go no further. That's not recovery, lads. That is not recovery. That will come back to bite you. Trust me, it will. Because then what happens is when you panic in your comfort zone, well, then that's it. All bets are off. You know what I mean?
then it's back to
Can I ask you a
basics.
question,
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah.
Did you ever go to the beach by yourself?
Uh, well, I go with Glenn on the WhatsApp or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you try and do it by yourself? Because I can tell you one thing. After a while, I don't know if Glenn told you, I used to do mine by myself. And trust me, that's where I got the big, big wins.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be just there yet, but I'm still doing it. I'm still going every day, but
You don't gotta go all the way,
I
buddy.
definitely,
Bit by bit,
I,
bit by bit,
yeah. So
bit
like,
by bit.
That's
this is
when
how
you know
mad.
you're at recovery.
Like, when Glenn gets off the phone with me for the hour we do, or should I be gone any other way? I could text him again. It could be fucking the other side. I could be in far side of Kells then. I just keep going everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
You seem like you're
That's
going
the
quite a way
whole
then,
point.
from Drogheda to Kells. That's quite a drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I could go from Broad to Kells to Drogheda, and then back over to nearly Ashbourne, and then back over to Slane and all these other places. So I'm starting to break out. It's just, I think it was just as Glenn says, I just got external stressors this week. So
That's
today I was
it.
driving. Jesus, I'm afraid to even say what I'm thinking. This is just like a new thing that happened today. Do you know? So I think,
So you shouldn't be afraid to say what you're thinking because you can bet your life we've all probably thought it.
oh, there was
This is the
nothing wrong.
group to
All
say
I
when
was
you're
saying,
doing it.
all it was like, oh, it was like, if I say this now, oh, jeez, I don't think I'm going to get to the beach today. That means I'll never make it again. Now, this never
No,
happened to
that's
me before.
yeah, no, that's see that honestly, but we all been there. You think you're jinxing yourself, type of thing.
Yeah, but maybe it's
Yeah,
because
no,
we. Maybe because I'm telling you, when I go out to Gaplet, I'm gone at 100 mile an hour. I wouldn't give a fuck. I don't know how I don't like. I'd be gone every day, and I'd be in the car for fucking 6 hours a day. I'd be gone,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I think maybe it was just maybe it was a little, I know, a little bit burnt out, maybe a little bit, and now I'm starting to come back to life a little bit, I suppose.
Whatever it is, you don't got to figure it out.
That's what I
It's the
said to him
figuring it
today.
out is the problem. You don't got to figure
Stop
it out.
trying to figure
Something
it out.
happened today. I didn't like it. It's over. Job done. Move on. Next thing. Listen, you sound like you're well on your way, Mark.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
You know what I mean? So good job, buddy. Just keep pushing further. You know what I mean? Let whatever happens happen. You know what I mean? It's a lot of it is the resistance. You know what I mean? What if maybe I might have a panic attack? Maybe I might get anxious. Like I'll share a story, which is not was it last night, the night before. I woke up at about 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why. A couple of years ago, when I was in the deep end of this stuff, if I woke at night, that was it. That was a nightmare. I wouldn't sleep all night. But anyway, I could actually feel the same symptoms as I did when I used to have panic attacks. I could feel the adrenaline. For me, my legs used to shake. You know what I mean? That's where the adrenaline started. And 30 seconds into it, like I realized what I was doing. I was getting involved again. Like, what's going on here? Maybe I fucking will. So what? Pill it down, back to sleep. Job done.
You know,
As
100%. And
listen,
that's learned from like the experience of like you were
oh yeah,
agoraphobic for
yeah,
16 years and you ended up in a fucking
yeah,
Australia. That's why
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
little
That's
dose of adrenaline just gets shut down instantly because the work that you did. William, can I ask you a
no
question?
fear. You understand? Go ahead.
After hearing some people's stories here, how does it feel to be obviously someone that was on the group, felt like there was no way out? How does it feel does it feel like you're listening to the same questions and saying, how does it feel to be listening to people?
It's no different, is it? You know what I mean? Like from what Sandra said with the DPDR, it brings back the memory. What Mark said there, I can go certain amount. Like for me, I could go. Well, here's what I'll say to you, Mark. I used to turn down work outside where I was comfortable to
oh
be.
no way, I'm the exact same lad. Ask Glenn.
Yeah, like fellas used to call my phone and say, "Look, this is what we've got. Do you like? What do you think about it? Can we email it over?" Yeah, crack on, email it over. And my reply on the spot was, "Packed out. Honestly, I don't want to mess you about." All because it wasn't where I was comfortable. Now that was the problem. That's what was keeping me. Like me and Glenn had this conversation until I realized, until I go and do these things outside the comfort zone, I'm never gonna. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna do this. But lads, I was where you were in a very, very short space of time, and you're talking to somebody here, lads, who tried everything. When I say everything, and I went everywhere, and I done everything, with with people that were supposed to be the greatest in their field, and I can assure you, it was nothing like what you're learning here. When I say night and day, I mean night and day. I tried everything.
Might say, well,
Simple. This.
I was the same as what you just said there. I've two
Give them
jobs.
a laugh, Mark. Give them a laugh about the blindfold first.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I'll just tell you this first, but William, I was the same, William. There's two jobs in Dunbine I priced, and I'd half priced them on the phone to see where to get them, and it could be 10 grand overpriced. And fucking, they'd say, yeah, go ahead, when can you come? And I'm like, oh, fucking
You
anyway.
don't want it. You don't want it.
And then, like, one time when
The money
Glenn was on the
doesn't matter.
phone, Glenn, there was two jobs this year now. I would never have went to price it. And I said to Glenn, you just stick on the phone with me now. I'm going to get here today. And one of them, the two of them I got to, but one of them I got to, I said to Glenn, I was there, I don't even know what he said. I jumped in the van and just went. And I was just more proud of the fact that I got there. And then the other one was the same as well. And yeah, I think me and you were very alike on that way. Do you know what I mean? And I'm also in recovery as well. I'm coming up on 2 years clean.
Well, fair play to you for that, buddy. Fair play to you for
So
that.
that's another thing. But yeah, fucking
Great to hear.
one day I thought I was getting over, and I googled fucking a magician.
This is hilarious.
Fucking what do you call them fuckers again? What do you call them?
Hypnosis.
Hypnosis, yeah, hypnosis.
Oh, fuck! I tried it. I tried it.
This bastard rang me, or I rang him, and he said, "No problem. Where can you get to?" And he says, "Well, I can nearly get to Dunshaughlin, nearly." And he goes, "You meet me in Dunshaughlin, and I'll cure you, basically." So he says, "Well, can you not come down to Navan and cure me? Why do I have to go to Dunshaughlin?" "No, I want you to go to." Anyway, couldn't get to Dunshaughlin. So then he rings me, "Where are you?" And he says, "Well, I'll send you the air code." And I'm freaking out inside the road here. I said, "I'll send you where I am. I'll drop a pin." Then he came to me in a lovely white Jeep. Inside it was lovely and white. And like, I'm 6'5", lad, 20 stone. I'm a big lump of hooer, do you know what I mean? And I was wearing a pair of shorts, and I had a pink water bottle in my hand and the whole on. He says, "Come on in here." I says, "Come on, where?" He says, "I'm going to just bring you in the car for a little spin." So he says, "No, I'll drive my pickup." And he goes, "No, no, no, just jump in there. Just listen to me and just let me do my thing." So he said, "Right, okay." The bollock started blindfolding me on the side of the road in his Jeep in the passenger seat. And he put the seat back down like that. I was going down blindfolded. And he could just turn on the fucking radio with his voice recorded. And he said, "Just listen to this now and you'll be okay." So anyway, he took off. And I said, "Where are you going, you mad fucker, you?" And he says, "Just let me do my thing." And I said, "Right, you asked for it. I don't mind." So we took off. We came round the roundabout. And I could feel him indicating, going to the third exit. And I know that exit. We can't get out of that exit. Brings you straight to the M50, like, you know what I mean? So as the car was turning right to go round the roundabout, so I started smashing the fucking car up, you know what I mean? Started punching the window and breaking the door. And I ripped the blindfold off me. And then he was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing, man?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" I said, I'm agoraphobic. And he says, "I'd like to even see where I'm going." And he was like, "No, no, you're thinking wrong." And he went around, but he goes, "Right, I won't go up the motorway." He said, "I bring you through Dunshaughlin." I wasn't in Dunshaughlin in fucking 10 years. And here he is trying to bring me around. He blindfolded me again, put the seat back again like a recliner in an office, put up the radio of his voice again and started going. Or then that was it. Then I nearly jumped in on top of him and pushed the door out. And he turned around and he was like, "Oh," in the middle of the road. And he goes, "I'm going to drop you back to the car straight away." So I'm here. The tears were running out of my eyes, but I couldn't cry. And
They're running out my eyes, dude.
yeah, and then he pulled up beside me truck. And I said, "That was a load of bollocks." I said, like, "I'm agoraphobic." He said, I was going to bring you up to the Red Cow roundabout. And I said, "Well, we will all be dead." I said, "Because I ended up killing you stone fucking dead." Then he goes, "I'm not just going to." He started doing this meditation thing, and the fucking cunt of a car was half electric, half petrol. And when he put the seat back again and blindfolded me again, the car was on, but the engine was off, so the battery was going low. Next, the engine turned on again. And I said, "You fucker, you're driving off again at me." And he goes, "No, that's the car jumping the battery." And he's like, "This is a disaster." So he just goes, he took out his phone and he goes, "Here's a calculator." He goes, "You're on there this earth fucking 10,000 days. You've only another 11,000 days left, and you're going to be dead." And I was like, "Right, thanks a million." And I just got in the car, and I went home.
Oh, stop.
He's right, buddy. I ain't laughed that hard in a long time.
So that's
Brilliant,
the
isn't it? You know, guys,
Mark, you seem like you're doing well, buddy. You seem like you're doing well. Like,
top of the world, and
lads,
know,
listen, here's what I'd say to you. Go ahead, Glenn.
I was just saying, like, he's already overcame something more harder than agoraphobic. He's 2 years sober from alcohol. That's some achievement. You've
Fair
already
play to you,
overcome
buddy.
something more difficult.
Fair play to you.
You know, and guys, Mark worked with me probably a year before you, um, William, probably a year before you worked with me. Mark was working with me, and what was stopping him was
Hmm.
the odd time he'd go for a point, and then at one point would turn into six, and then he just have the next 3 days, and he wouldn't be himself, you know. Anyway,
Of course, sure. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? That's what I can say, lads.
anyway,
Listen,
sorry, William. I didn't hear from Mark for a while then, you know, and then he got back in touch with me three
yes,
months ago. We're back working 3 months ago, and when I got back on the phone to him, I said, "What's been happening?" He
lovely.
says, "Oh, Jesus, so I tried fucking You're not gonna believe it. Some chap had me blindfolded in the car and all." I said, "What?" He told me that
But
story.
but but this is
I
what
was crying. I was
this
crying
is what
laughing.
people are dealing with. That
I
that that
know.
is what people are dealing with. And then what happens is when these things don't work, like for instance, this hypnosis, EMDR, then you've got all these other things, Vegas and all this certain.
Mm,
When these things don't work, people come to the conclusion then, well, I'm broke.
yeah.
They were
EMDR
never going to
messed with
work
Sandra as
because
well.
there was never nothing wrong with you. You understand me? There was never
Mm,
nothing wrong. You have an anxiety disorder. It's a behavioral disorder. I prefer to call it a behavioral disorder.
me too.
There's
Me
nothing to
too.
do. You don't have to do anything. You just have to expose yourself to hard, scary things. So your brain clock's on. There's nothing wrong. Okay, he's going 5 hours tomorrow. We don't need to worry about this. You show how. Do you ever hear that saying? How do we show anxiety, or how do we get in contact with it? By your behavior? By your
100%.
behavior. What is your behavior? Your behavior is avoidance. That's it. That's the main driver of all this is avoidance. And
It's so
again, I
simple and
know
so
it's
complex.
making this sound very simple. It's not. I understand that because trust me, I went through hell with it. But
It's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing
there's nothing
I've
wrong.
ever done. Hardest thing William has ever done. But Rossa, you got to a 90%
It's
recovery.
not.
Guys, it's the hardest thing you'll ever have to do in your life. But my God, is it worth it? My God, is it worth it?
Oh God, I.
And
Oh God, I. Like
oh, you think you've missed out on life?
just.
You wait and you get your life back, and within 6 days, within 6 weeks, you will have lived everything you've missed out
Mm,
on for 16 years, William. Within 6 months,
yeah,
what were
you
you
make
like
it
within
up.
the first
You
six
make it
months of
up.
recovery? Is like, oh my God,
You
I was like me.
you make
You'll win that
you
straight
make
back.
it
Don't
up.
be
You
worrying
know
about
what I mean?
what you missed out on.
It's gone.
Nah,
You
the
know what I mean?
groups are
It's
great, William.
over. Yeah. Listen,
We love
it's
having you on,
nice.
William.
It's nice
Honestly,
to speak to you.
we love having you on,
Yeah,
and
it's nice to speak to people who understand, isn't it?
we really, really love having you on. You're a amazing, amazing human being, loving heart, kind. You're a top man. We're all so happy for you. You know, we're so happy for you.
No, I
And
appreciate
again,
it.
thanks so much for coming on and staying in touch. And
How
I'm just so happy for you, man. So
how
happy for you.
is Rosa?
Rossa, she's good. Rossa, how are you?
Hey, William.
How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, considering the circumstances, because I'm currently my husband is getting sick, so but I'm doing good. I'm going out
Your
every
husband
day.
is sick.
Yeah, but we don't know what's wrong with him, so
So in this situation, you know, I also had this. My son was very sick. You got to expect this. You've got to expect to be anxious. You know what I mean? Somebody that never had an anxiety disorder is going to be anxious in that situation.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when my son, when he was very young, like we got very bad news about him. Like they didn't think he was going to live, and
Oh
I was
God.
trying to clear weeks that away. I was trying to accept that and breathe that away. That was never designed to be got rid of. You know what I mean? And somebody said to me, "That's a natural reaction to a legitimate problem." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'd give yourself some slack. You know what I mean? You feel crap for a valid reason,
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it's
true.
funny.
and I hope that works out for you.
Yeah, our thoughts, our prayers are with your husband, and everything will be okay. We hope sooner than later. Hopefully, he gets the results back, and you can move on.
Yeah,
You know what's
yeah.
weird? In anxiety disorders, we have basically false fear, just worried about things that are never going to happen. But then when something comes into our life that we actually worry about, we actually do quite well under the pressure because we actually realize our brain actually has something to fucking worry about. It's a real event, so we can actually process it actually a little bit better than processing nothing. It's weird, right? But our prayers are going out to
Oh, I
your husband
yeah,
also.
yep.
Everything will be okay. Deciding when my seat, what
But
will be Yeah, great book. Great book. Great people.
this this is the Bible. This is the Bible. That
It is the Bible
I don't think there's any better. I don't, and
for
I'll be
intrusive
honest. When I
thoughts.
first got it, I didn't read it because I didn't think like the public were allowed to read it, but they actually are. They are.
Oh yeah. I said, William, there's a book. And I have him on the podcast, William. How great is that? The man himself.
Oh, you had him on.
No, I have him. I have him on recorded.
Oh, he's a legend.
Yeah.
There's no better.
Yeah.
Honestly, and this has come from somebody who done a lot of research. Their work is just unbelievable. He was the
Exceptional.
first person I ever heard say that the hardest but the best thing you can ever do with anxiety or panic is nothing.
It's great. He does it in such
And
a
that's
way
all
that
Glenn is going to learn you.
he does it in such a way like you believe these people because why is he so good at what he does? Because he went through it. He lived
He
it.
had it.
He lived with the
He
OCD and
had
the
it.
intrusive thoughts and the what
Yeah.
if I do harm to myself? He lived with it all. That's why he's the
Here's
best at
one
what he
thing.
does.
Sorry, Glenn. My service is not great
No,
where I am, and it seems like I'm breaking in on you.
no
Sorry
problem,
about
buddy.
that.
No problem.
Here's one thing I want to say to you, and if you can stick to this, honestly, it will really benefit you. When somebody has an anxiety disorder, panic, whatever it is, you're me and quite a lot of people I knew. You're on multiple forums. You're members of multiple groups on Facebook. You're following X, Y, Z, and you're talking about it all day long. So here's what I'm going to say: pick your book. You're on the group, and leave it at that. Because trust me,
100%.
the more information you don't need more. You don't need more information, people. You need less. So you're already doing too much for anxiety because what you're doing is you're doing everything in your power to get rid of it. And again, I'll reference Marty Seif that every time you try to get rid of anxiety, you are reinforcing it. And again, that is a very hard pill to swallow, but it was right.
You're spot on. As hard as
When
that
it came
may
to the stage,
be,
when I woke up, yeah, when I woke up one morning and I could feel level 6, 7, 8 anxiety and weird thoughts, ready to panic, and I could just still get in my car, go about my day, and not do nothing about it, not change my behavior, have my cup of coffee, go to work, talk to whoever, and before you know where it is, you're passing through these stages, and it comes a certain time of the day, you're not anxious, you're not panicky. This is what Glenn is learning you to do. He's learning you how to go from level 10s down, and then before you know where it is, you're moving further, you're doing more, you're living life again. Then all of a sudden anxiety is going to come again, and then before you know where it is, you're out the other side and you're on about your day. So it doesn't mean anything. Again, referencing that book, you have to come it has to come to you at some stage that anxiety is not a message, it's not a sign, and it is not dangerous. It is a protection mechanism that everybody in the world have. Mine and yours just went off the rails, and our job is to show it how to get back on track by our behavior. And that's it. And that's how simple it is. But it is absolute hell to put into practice.
Very hard. It's so hard to put into practice because we don't get the help straight away.
Who wants to go into panic? Who in their right mind wants to go into panic? Who wants to feel
I'm gonna have
anxious
a
every
heart
day?
attack
Who
and lose
wants
my
to have
mind.
terrifying thoughts? You know, that's why you don't want to do that, because you're sane people, because you have a healthy brain that is doing everything in its power to protect you. But unfortunately, the way to correct that is a very hard road.
What you need to do, guys, you need to override your illogical brain with
Correct. That's the word.
logical
Override.
behaviors. Okay? You must
You see,
override your illogical brain with logical behaviors. That's what you need to do.
when you are in neck deep in panic, logic does, like Glenn said, logical behaviors, logical thoughts or logical talk doesn't come into it, because your brain is doing everything in its power to save you. It's not listening. It will never listen. What is the logical behavior? Nothing. Not avoid, no safety. Obviously, you're not going to get to this stage until you get further down the road. But once you get to where you need to be and you have a panic attack, that's what you're doing. Logical behavior. You're walking through a busy train station, you feel panic coming on. So what? Drop your hands. Carry on walking. You're reading a newspaper, carry on reading your newspaper. You're sitting on a plane, I'm having a panic attack, no big deal. It's no different from a panic attack in your bedroom.
Yep.
There you go.
And it's, yeah, spot on. And William, it's again, we go to logical and illogical behaviors, and it's like you, with your illogical brain, you cannot overcome this with the logical part of your brain. You have to
It just
overcome
can't be
your
done.
illogical brain with your logical behaviors. Your illogical behaviors are keeping you stuck in the illogical brain. Okay? That's what it is. Your logical
There, we
brain,
said it.
it's not your illogical brain is stronger than your logical brain because it's primitive. It will override anything. Okay? That's why it's hard. That's why the only way to overcome it, the only way the amygdala really truly learns is through behavior. So you must override the illogical brain that has you trapped with logical action. And logical action actually means horrible panic, horrible thoughts, but behaving as best as you can in that moment. As time goes on, things get better, which is we go back to Sandra. Hannah's doing the same thing. Mark's doing the same thing. As you have a place to get to. And that evokes a certain level of panic, but your behavior is correct. You're moving forward. Even though you can't sit there in the moment and have a fucking cup of tea, although Mark's at that place right now where he can move up to a certain point, he can have his cup of tea. Man could never do this for years. But 15 more minutes down the road to the beach, feels he can't do that anymore. We'll get back on that. With Sandra, she's already got to the Japanese gardens before, a couple of months ago. She knows what it's like. Now, shit happened in her life. Nervous system sensitive again, has a man back living with her, sticking to her husband, having all of the brain's flooded again.
Safety
The
people.
brain has had too much of I'm unsafe. I need all these things to protect me. Now that's you have to break the chains of that. And then also with Hannah as well is like Hannah knows that she needs to go around this roundabout. Okay, she needs to go around it. And the roundabout's here. And she hasn't been Hannah, when is the first time you ever went around this roundabout for first ever alone?
Um,
long time ago, years on my own. Yeah.
Years, okay? And we're like 30 seconds away from the roundabout. And I know you're going to get that sometime, but I'm not forcing anything upon you. I know how this works, that I just want you to make it to, could you get pissed off? You get pissed off by just making it so close. Glenn, why can't I make it today? Well, and it's really your decision. Glenn, why can't I? Well, you're just choosing not to do it. That's the real, that's the slap on the face we need. You're choosing not to do it. But over time, by getting you so close to the roundabout and home, almost to the roundabout and home, almost to the roundabout and home, you're starting to realize not you're still having the horrific thoughts that you will have on the roundabout. You're still thinking they're gonna go crazy and drive off the road, but you're still making a home. So then eventually you'll go through the roundabout and you'll have that same cycle. And then you make the roundabout again. But what will come from that is that, oh my God, 6 years I haven't been around that. Wow. And that's beautiful. Am I cured? No. Am I on my way? Yes. And then what happens next? We go somewhere past the roundabout. And then you go up the road further. Same. Same exact. That's exactly how William got past his. Exactly how Mark's progressing past his. Exactly how Rossa got to 90% recovery to get on a plane last summer for the first time in her life. Exactly how I got over my disorder. Every single person that has recovered on this with me, it's the same way I'm guiding everyone through it. No guru fucking shit. Real hard work.
Sorry, Glenn, my Wi-Fi's messed there.
No problem, William. But anyway, guys, any one last question to William before we go? As he's nearly on with us for nearly an hour and 40 minutes. He has kids. Any last questions? It was a great session, William. We love having you on. We love you.
Oh, no worries. Anytime,
Great.
anytime.
How how do you care? You're the same as me, William. How do you? How many lads have you working for you?
9.
Yeah, they drive you mad, wouldn't it, the feckers, huh?
I take it now, you know what I mean? Like back when I was neck deep in all this, I just let them run the show. Anyone that wanted to put their hand up could run things, and I'd avoid everything that I possibly could, you know. And very short time into working with Glenn, you know what I mean? I realized everything that I was doing. So basically,
Remember.
I needed to do the opposite of what I was doing.
Yeah,
I needed to get back into it all. I needed to. Stress. You understand me? Stress management, Mark, is a big thing. Running, exercise, stuff like that. Not to get rid of anxiety, not to get rid of panic, to manage your stress levels. You
yeah,
understand me?
that's
When you can manage your stress levels, you're a different man. You sleep better, you eat better, you feel better. You get me?
All the basics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at the start,
One
William.
thing.
then I was actually still physically on the tools and everything, and then this year was like, no, I was like, no, I have to every fucking day.
y- y-
I'm going out doing this.
Yeah, but you can't do everything. You know what I mean? You're not a robot. You were never designed to do everything. You understand? You gotta look after yourself. You can't kill yourself. But you just
That's why I dropped the tools.
no avoiding, man. No avoiding. Slowly but surely, further every day. Feel the anxiety
Yeah.
or the panic coming on. Let it happen. See the thoughts. Just honestly, the thoughts don't mean nothing. Ignore the thoughts, and don't try and how do I say? Don't try and get rid of the thoughts. Yeah, I said you have some bad thoughts. Let them be there. Focus on your work. Before you know where you are, you're back into it. You know, the brain clocks on. There's nothing wrong. You don't need to do anything. You understand me? That's our problems are, mate. We won't stop doing. You understand me? We do everything in our humanly possible power to fix something that was never designed to be fixed, and that's where the problem comes in. When you can't fix this, then we think we're broke. But yeah, listen, it sounds like you're smashing it, mate. It sounds like congratulations with the, you know what I mean, the being off the
Fantastic.
booze for a while. You sound like
Yeah.
you're doing well. One thing I wanted to say to that last girl, is it Hannah?
Hannah, yeah.
Yeah.
If we were the other way around and I was you and you were me, here's what I needed to say, someone to say to me, which Glenn did say to me. You're 30 seconds from a roundabout you want to go on. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What I'm telling you will probably sound like madness here, but I can promise you, if you can do this, you don't understand how you are going to feel. If you can just go and do that 30 seconds around that roundabout with the anxiety, with the panic attack, and not do nothing to stop it. Let it come as heavy as it needs to be. I promise you, tomorrow you will be a different person. Now, I know how hard that is, but here's where I go back to what I said at the start. If you're not going to do these things, you are never going to get better. You have got to do this. And let me tell you, lads, you've got to do it while you have anxiety and panic. Trust me, Anna, if you can not wait and you can face this, you are going to be a different person. And trust me, that feeling when you've done a really, really hard thing, priceless. Absolutely priceless.
Thank you. I'll do my best this week because I get so
And listen,
frustrated.
I'd be so happy when
if you
people get
don't,
frustrated. I'm like, yeah, great.
Yeah.
They have to
there's
be
no
frustrated.
failure. There's just learning, lads.
Yeah.
Guys, I'll
Thank you,
tell you something
William.
as well. I want to finish
No
on two
problem.
things, okay? I
Go ahead.
want to finish on two things. Number one is, guys, everybody, no matter if you had it for 20 years, 30 years, no matter if you've been diagnosed with OCD, agoraphobia, health anxiety, all those neurotic disorders, and if you just have those, I'm not talking about the psychotic disorders, everybody, I mean everybody can overcome them. So as bad as you
Mm.
feel right now, and as low as you feel, you just have to keep chipping away. You can overcome this. 100%. I have seen the
More,
darkest days myself, and I have seen people work to people every day, all over the world for 5.5 years. I've seen so many people in the worst conditions fully recover, like William, to be unable to.
more
16 years
wins.
of this in Australia. So many people. Some people don't come on, they just want to live their lives, and some people don't give testimonials, they just want to move on. That's fine. That's their business. And when you guys finish up and you're gone, you don't owe me anything. You don't owe me a testimonial. You're on here to not make friends. You're here to get your fucking life back and you're gone. Don't even talk to me again. Just go and live your life. You don't owe me anything. But you owe yourself to put this fucking work in while you work here. Okay? And there's something else I wanted to finish
Lads,
on, which I forget what it was.
sorry.
Um, William, do you want to touch on there until I think of this? I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Here's one thing I said. I would dedicate one full year to Glenn's work, right? From the first day we spoke, we set it all up. I said I am going to give this one full year, and I will do everything this man tells me, and I will do it to exactly how he tells me. And I can tell you, lads, when I made that plan that I was going to do all that I had to do, trust me, it. Glenn probably told you things fell into place very quick. Now, I listen. At no point am I ever going to say this is going to be easy, because it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Expect to panic. Expect to be anxious. But if you can dedicate a certain, like, whatever to this work, 1 year of hell will give you the rest of your life of freedom.
Or less. Yeah, absolutely.
It's
And
it's
the thing
it's
is,
your
guys,
choice. And listen, there's no one making you do this. If you don't, you understand? If you're not ready to do this, or you don't want to do this, there's nobody making you. You have got to want this.
mm,
Trust me, that's.
I know what
I said
I,
on
I
this
know
group.
what I wanted. I know what I wanted to finish on.
Go for it, then.
I'll finish on this, okay? And thanks so much, William. And the thing is, like,
Not a problem.
always people say, "Oh, Glenn, thank you." I'm like, please, thank yourselves. I'm blessed. I am so happy to be able to do this work and give back real work, not to fucking blindfold people in cars, okay? Not to
Ridiculous, isn't it?
tell them to read in the brown paper bags. Some of the work that I do with people is just talking about what's happening in their daily life. Being there for them as just a human being to a human being, a real human experience. That's what it is. It's love, it's care, it's support. and kick up the ass sometimes. I want to finish with William. William, do you remember? Because it just clicked with me. You were doing so amazing, and something happened in your life where you start to struggle to make it to work with the drives again. You're like, Glenn, I don't know what's up. And you had so
Yeah,
much work on.
yeah,
Mark, listening on this. And we're sitting in the car one day,
yeah,
and you were telling me what's going on and what's going on. And I said, there's just so much stress in your life with this
yeah.
job.
It's
Like
just
I said, William, can you please get someone that's close enough to you in that job and let them take on the business for a week or two? Can you remember I said that?
yeah, and I did,
Just for a relief.
I did. I took step back. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's important in a
yeah.
recovery as well. People sometimes need a bit of a
Oh yeah, you
break.
got to look after yourself.
Yeah. It's not every day you're
Mm.
battering it down. It's a long haul. Okay, it's a long haul. So also you can remember, guys, William just didn't shoot like a fucking rocket out of the sky and he got recovered. He had that down. That was like a month or two, William, where you're just, you know, on the hinges again
Oh, that
because of the
was yeah, about
stress
two
of life,
months.
owning
Yeah,
owning the business and having people that fucking calling you all the time. And we had that conversation, right? How do we fix it? And all I want
yeah,
to do, because you
yeah.
you love the running and the jogging as well. So I said, William, keep up the jogging, buddy. And
Oh yeah,
again,
the
it's
running
it's basic, and you think like, well, that can't work with people. It works a lot for people. And then
100% it
you need
does.
someone you need to hand this business over to someone, William. Even take a hit of financial hit. Fuck it, who cares? And that was
I think
I wanted to finish on that. That I remembered that William's journey wasn't. It
no,
was very
no,
similar
no.
to
Yeah,
it's very similar to
it
what a lot
wasn't
of people
straight
go through.
line. Yeah,
Certainly not.
like
Certainly not a straight
natural,
line.
natural life stress and basically no self care. That's what that was.
100%. Like imagine Rossa was back to her very best, and then her husband got sick. She'd feel exactly the way she's feeling now because life
And
stress. Her
and
husband's sick.
if she didn't feel like that, well, there would be something wrong.
Yeah,
Would that be right to say
yeah.
that?
Then it's basically, hey, I have to question
You understand
if
me?
I love this person I'm married to.
You understand me? Then there would be
If you
something wrong.
care,
So
here's
it's
Max,
natural.
baby.
It's exactly how it's how the body was designed to go, wasn't it?
100%, 100%. What's her name, Mark?
Lads,
Bonnie, say hi.
Hello. Bedtime, Mark. No, won't
Yeah,
sleep.
she was roaring there. She wants me to give her a kiss before she goes to bed.
I think we're all gonna hit the hay
look,
now
lads,
anyway. Will
you're in the best place, lads. And that's all I can say to you is, look, when you hit a rough patch, everyone in the world hit rough patches. You know what I mean? Like, it's to be
100%.
expected. We can't walk around happy every day. We can't buzz on. If you can just let these things come and learn to react to them in a different way, and just keep moving, listen to what Glenn's saying. Look after yourself, lads. Exercise, eat good food. You know what I mean?
100%.
Enjoy yourself. Go places. Live life. Don't just exist. Live your life. Move. And trust me,
100%.
before you know where you are, you'll feel better. You look better. You'll want to go more. The more you get, the more you want. That's it.
100%. Guys, listen, I would rather go for a cup of tea and feel panic and DPDR than not go for the cup of tea.
Oh, I that
Get out.
that's where the recovery is. Us anxious people, we think I'll get my life back when I'm not anxious anymore. No, 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 no. You get your life back when you start living it with anxiety and panic.
100%.
Exactly as Glenn said, I go for my cup of tea. I feel DPR. I feel anxiety. So what? I'm still going for the cup of tea. The brain clocks on. Well, he's not afraid anymore, so maybe we'll stop this. There you go, lads. Listen, exactly what this man is telling you. You will never, ever, ever get a GP or any of these big top people that will speak to you like you're being spoken to now, because they have not had this. You see, the work that you're learning here is coming from Marty Seif, Sally Winston, Stephen Hayes, acceptance commitment therapy, all people who have had this and all people who've studied every part of Claire Weeks' work. Trust me, people, it's all you need. Her exact words were, if you do the work, recovery is inevitable. And trust me, she was not wrong. She was the greatest mind that ever lived on anxiety. And the minute I knew that Glenn was on that page, I said, here we go. Bingo. And exactly what I knew it would work. I knew it would work, but I knew I had to do what I was being told. I had to change what I'd done for 15 years. What was that saying? Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah. And that's
There
the
it is, mate.
hardest thing. That is the only sole reason I am ever set up what I'm doing today, is because I know so many people cannot do this alone. And it's so hard.
I've recommended Glenn, lads. Listen, I would never, I said it before, I would never give any one of you people false hope. I've recommended this man to family members, to friends. Listen, just listen to what he's saying. And listen, you're not going to get it perfect every single day. It was never
No
designed to go
chance.
out and do it perfect. You're human. You have anxiety. There's nothing wrong with you. You've got to show the brain that there's no danger. And this is what you're being here. Acceptance and commitment therapy. It's the only way. Job done. And I hate
100%.
that I can't give you all. I hate that I can't give you all more instructions and more tips on how did you do this, because there wasn't more. It was just exposure every single day of my life, multiple times a day, and sitting with the anxiety and panic and doing nothing about it, letting it come, letting it drop, letting it come, letting it drop. Before, here, here,
Yeah.
here here's the day. Here's the day I called recovery, people. I won't hold you too long. Here's the day I said, look, I am recovered from anxiety disorder and panic attacks. Right? I didn't say I don't get anxiety anymore. I said, here's the day. I was lying in bed one night, 6, 7 months into this, maybe more, about 8 months. And how my panic attacks always started my whole life was my legs would start to shake first. Always. It terrified me because I knew what was happening. I was lying in bed one night about 10 o'clock, flicking through my phone. I felt it coming. My legs started shaking. Straight away, the breathing started getting heavy. Sweating came. Thoughts came. Straight away, what do? I start changing, trying to manipulate my breathing on the spot. I knew what I was doing. What I do? I just opened my hands, lid back into bed, and I said, fuck this, let's have it. 2 minutes, finished, over, done. I got up, I actually rang Glenn on the phone, and I told him exactly what happened. I said, I fucking done it. Lads, I don't know what it's like to win the lottery, but trust me, it felt something like that did. Panic came, I done nothing about it, I didn't fear it. It was over. I knew there and then, I said, that's it. 16 year, I'm finished. If I had a panic attack right now in this car, it would not bother me. I don't want one, but if I had one sitting right here, right now, I would put my seat back. I would not do nothing. It would come, it would go. I'd go in home, I'd have a cup of coffee because I drink a cup of coffee every night before I go to bed. Listen, I don't care if I sleep or not. There you go. This is how you do it, lads. You have to stop. You have to not fear it anymore. And when you don't fear it, the word you can do anything. Trust me. When you come out the other side of this, you are a different person. You are not. You are a better person than you were before you ever had a panic attack.
That's the thing. People want to go back. I want my old self. You don't want your old self. Your old self has you like
You're
this.
a better person.
You
You're a
don't want
better
your old
person
self.
than you're
Trust me.
ever going to be.
I think
So
2 weeks
there
ago,
you go, lads.
well, and I was driving somewhere, and I even said to Glenn, it's in the normal place where I used to be. Next, I get it in the stomach. She lay up, and I was saying to Glenn, I just said, would you ever go and fuck yourself, would you? I says, anxiety giving me an adrenaline rush in the middle of the road for no reason. I said, would you ever go in and fuck
That's
yourself?
it.
And then I rang Glenn and was telling Glenn, and Glenn was like, that's it, that's the start of it now, wearing all off. And I was like, I was laughing at it, because it was the first time I actually felt like, here's the adrenaline shooting it out, and I'm just like, what are
That's
you
it.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mark,
that's nice to
buddy,
hear.
you are well on your road, mate. I can tell by the way you're talking. You are well on the road to this.
Yeah.
Same on you.
You know what I mean?
well
So
on the way. And yeah,
listen,
you had a rough, you had a rougher week, but
what a group.
uh,
What a group.
it's beautiful, beautiful. Sometimes I have people come on,
If you go ahead, Glenn.
and I have sometimes when people want to come onto the group to say, I don't really want to go on because I feel like if someone mentions that, it's like this group doesn't work like that.
What a group of people to be with, that you can listen to this and look what you're learning. People, you are not going to learn this with some of the top psychologists in the world. You are not going to learn what you're going to learn in this group. Trust me on that, you're not, because I have been to them and I have spoke to them.
It's like,
And
it's sad.
you understand me? Like, it is sad, Glenn. It is sad because when people come away from them, the first thing is they think that they're broken. So here's what I'm going to say to you, lads. I did never, ever, my goal when I started this was never to get rid of panic attacks. My goal was not to fear panic attacks. And the happy part of it is when you don't fear them, they don't come anymore. And even if they do come, it's just, it's no different than a migraine or a toothache or a flu. They come, they do their thing, they're gone. Job done. Like Glenn said on the train, years after he ever recovered, he was going to Leon. I go as far as saying I
Yeah,
still have that video saved in my phone. On YouTube it was. He had an
yeah,
adrenaline
put it
rush
up
on
on
the train
YouTube.
to Leon. He never done one thing about it. He got off the train, he went and he had his holiday, he got up on the train, he came home. Job done.
There was 2 times we finish on this, okay, guys, because I'm getting late and everyone wants to jump off. It's 2 hours on here. There's 2 times after my recovery that my mind questioned panic again. Here's the 2 things. I went from Dublin to Paris, Dublin to Paris, Dublin to Paris, Dublin to Paris, Dublin to Paris all the time. Eventually ended up living over here. So that's the furthest I went. What a beautiful achievement. Wonderful, amazing. Hadn't had a panic attack in 2 years, 2.5 years, whatever. Next of all, my girlfriend says she wants to go visit her brother in Lyon. And it's a 2.5 hour, 3 hour non-stop train. And I felt uneasy at that. I was like, yeah, I can get on a plane up in the sky and go an hour and a half, but 3 hours on a train. All right. Said I'm going. And I remember saying to my girlfriend, I said, listen, I have a feeling I'm gonna have a panic attack on this train. I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna go live on my Instagram and I'm gonna talk people. This is how to deal with a panic attack. I'm getting a 3 hour non-stop train. I got on the train, okay? Guess what happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Here's
The
the
only thing that
second time I
happened was
questioned it.
your thought.
Exactly. Exactly. Here's the second time I questioned it. Maybe I'm gonna lie here because I don't know how long it was after that train journey. So I'm gonna lie about the months. 2 months after that, which wasn't 2 months, I just don't know when. My girlfriend had to go to Morocco to her family and she was gonna stay there for a month. I didn't have the dog. It was gonna be Glenn alone in Paris with no French and no nothing. Glenn alone in France. And I felt something. I felt, I don't know what I felt. It was a strange feeling that I haven't felt in a while. You know,
Old
a little bit of
feelings.
doubt, a little bit of doubt, a little bit of old psychology. I had the most peaceful month ever. A bed to myself. Oh, it was magic. You know, I'd pay for a holiday now to take a month away again. But it tested me. It tested me twice. And then nothing. Okay. But guys, we're gonna finish up on that because it's getting
Nice.
late. And William, thank you so much, man. I'm so happy
Anytime.
for you.
Anytime,
You
buddy.
deserve it so much, and we all love and adore you coming on here, and you're very precious to us. So
Appreciate it. Anytime.
thank you so much. And everyone else, just stick by it. Take it easy on yourselves. We're all, myself included, we're all complex human beings. All of us, all complex human beings. Okay? Even me recovered
You'll
and
get
William
there.
recovered and whoever, we're all complex human beings.
Then
So
can I
take it
just
easy
say,
on yourselves, okay?
can
Yeah.
I just say, Hannah there, Hannah, I was only about 10 weeks ago, I was stuck on a roundabout as well. Remember Glenn in Drogheda?
Yeah.
And I remember when I got to it, then I just put down the window, and I don't know what, I was clapping my hands in the whole lot,
Okay.
but I still got around it. And I think 2 days after that, I was stuck in that roundabout for a while, Hannah. And then 2 days later, I ended up going past that one and two more, and it happened so quick. So when you get around this roundabout, I think it's just going to open up your world so much more. So
Thanks,
just,
Mark.
I was the same.
Might just go over straight over the top of it.
You gotta go around.
That's the
The
spirit.
only way is
Well, guys,
through.
I'm gonna leave it with you. Lovely talking to you all. I hope you
Thanks, William.
smash all your exposures, and God bless. Take care.
Thanks very much, William. Thank you very much.
Not a bother, lads. Take care.
William, thank
Thank
you so much,
you.
okay? God bless you.
Night all.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, everyone. Thanks very much, Glenn.
Boys, thanks so much, okay? And look after yourselves, and yeah, we'll touch base soon, okay? Great session.
Well, look, Vicky, best luck,
Thank
and
you.
I'll